STS, deprogrammed for a reason, because I had to get rid of that old programming that nearly took my life away. It's real life shit. That's why I'm here today. And yeah, we're back with Lady Crown, and we don't stay down, we stay up, and we don't chat pop, but it's not real talk. It's another midweek catch up. And yeah, greetings to you all, you know. Shout outs to Michelle Clare out there and all the Telegram members. And yeah, what we're tapping into today, you know. One thing I like to mention is that big ups to all of you, you know, that have been following the journey. I know that we're on the third channel now, but that's what happens when you're speaking the truth, you know, especially on these type of platforms here. And just like to mention about that comment that Michelle put up on the Telegram about Bill Gates. Yeah, trust me, I know where you're coming from, because shout out to Ralph Smart out there as well, who spoke about that. The reason why he bought that watch is because he doesn't have to show off, you know what I mean, to other people. You know, a lot of us like to do that, don't we, Lady Crown? You know what I mean? Show off, you know, materialism, that type of mentality that's aligned with the system, you know? We give our money away to people that don't really care about us. You know, we need to start creating for ourselves, you know what I mean? Stop flexing, you know what I mean? Start doing our thing.
Absolutely.
Trust me.
Absolutely. You know, what Bill Gates is an investor, yeah? So he'd probably have shares or investments in those companies that make those kind of things. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So he's sitting back and craping up the money with his little £30 Timex watch on his wrist. Listen, so long as there's TikTok, and nowadays I don't even say TikTok because it's a digital something, and you can get yourself in line with the Gregorian time scale and calendar and what have you, you're good to go. So what does it matter if you can have 20 grand watch dripping off your wrist? You see what I'm trying to say? It's he wouldn't have something like that because he got nothing to prove. And at the end of the day, for me, I don't know about US, yes, but I've got this thing that when you're got wealth and it's ill-gotten, then it cannot serve you in the long run. Do you get what I'm saying? Because your true wealth, as we already know, is our health.
Yeah.
Because once we've got that, we can get out there and do what we need to do. Do you see what I'm saying? These men that are put in positions, because let's face it, we must know by now that they've been strategically put where they've been put. Yeah. Position. So then people go around saying, oh, you know, he's the richest man in the world. Then it went from him to Elon.
I thought it was Jeff Bezos. No. The guy that owned Amazon.
Bezos, then it was Bezos, then it was Elon Musk, and let's face it, we know that whoever controls the printing press is the richest man or women in the world. You know what I mean? The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, them kind of people there. So we already know that, but yet again, it's that propaganda. They like to spin that sort of thing. And listen, there ain't nobody on the planet bossy like how we stay. You know what I mean? We're bossy.
Yeah,
you know, my grandfather was 80 when he came to this country, and he tell me, say, man, fi bossy. You know, for those who don't know what bossy means, you know, braggadocious. You know what I mean? It looks like we look good.
Yeah, like to look,
you know, and there's nothing wrong with looking good. You know, but I tell you what, you do. Let's look good in our brands, our things. Let's make, sell, and buy our produce, our food, our clothing. Do you get what I'm trying to say? We don't need what they're giving us, because all they've given us is things to entrap you, capture your mind, capture your heart and your soul. Because there was, remember that time in America when they started to really come up with the Adidas and the Nike and the Jordans. Yeah. What man dead in over there?
The Jordans, yeah.
They were. How much are the Jordans?
I don't know in America, but I know
$1,000. You know, I don't know how much they were costing, but man was getting killed, yeah, for what they had on their feet. You see how you've been manipulated and controlled to the point where you're walking down the road with the latest phone of the day. Man will get licked out for the phone. See, all of these things, they put so much value on it that you forget your humaneness, you forget your humanity, you forget who and what we are, that we would just kind of like lick down somebody because of something that they got on their foot, because they've created a system where you're going to have the haves and the have-nots. And let me tell you, when there's a lot of have-nots and lots of deprivation, lack of good education, food, water, family, units, that's what's going to happen. So have no mistake, this is all done by design. Look at the Tavistock Institute. which, puts the trends out there. The Tabernacle Institute decides what it is we're going to eat, drink, drive, wear. Take it all back. This is the opportunity that we have now to take it all back. We've got all of those people out there that can cook, that can, and I want to say cook, I'm talking about ITAL food, yeah? That can sew, that can make things, that can build. We've got all of those skills. Let's harness it now. Come together and make them sit on there. We'll feed them sitting on a rotten pan shelf. And we're out there trading with one another. Not there trying to profit off somebody, make something for 10 pence and sell it for 10,000. No, that's not right. Come in, Mario.
You know what? Just like to discuss a bit about the fire and water energy video that I brought out yesterday. Going with what you're saying, we need to balance our fire and water energy. Otherwise, a lot of people are tapped into the fire energy. This is why they want to just take, rob people, kill people over things that, trust me, you don't own. You don't even own it. But you want ownership of it by robbing people and things like that. Like, that's the fire energy that a lot of people need to harness within and use it, transform it, shall I say, to water energy and start creating your own. You know what I mean? Creating your own things, creating your own clothing, whatever you want to create. You're powerful.
We're co-creators.
You're powerful co-creators. Yeah. So it's so key for us to harness our energy within, like I like to say, because this fire and water energy is so, trust me, in order for us to really use it, we have to harness it within in order for us to create harmony.
Yeah.
Because as long as we're not in harmony, anything can occur out there, That's why it's so key, especially with the fire. The water energy, like I said, is more sustainable. The fire energy burns out quick. So when you do all this robbing, all this killing thing, guess what happens? You already know. You end up going jail, you end up dying. You know what I mean? The consequences of your actions, trust me, so key, man. You need to use that fire and turn it into water. You know what I mean? Use it for yourself. You'll externalize your power and align to the system, because they put all these fancy things in front of your face in order to distract you and catch you as well.
Well, and aren't they good at doing it?
I mean, they're very good at doing it.
Yeah, well, they've been practicing it for thousands of years, and they've perfected it to a T. Yeah. The only thing is that they underestimated the minds and the hearts and the souls of men and women who one day wake up and say, "Kiss me, oh, what go on here?" Some epiphany, something happens in their lives that makes them literally wake up to the world that they're truly living in. You get what I'm saying? Yo, it ain't pretty. And it is pretty because it's all down to your perception. But at the same time, you have to acknowledge that there's certain beings on the planet that aren't running right. Certain entities on the planet that aren't doing the things that perhaps you and I would do for our fellow men and women out there. We have to acknowledge that, because if we don't, then that's the elephant in the room that we all kind of pretend's not there. It did it. Big hell of a trunk, arm body, big so much ton. But we're going to go, no, I want to know, it's not there. No, it is. So when you acknowledge it, that's when you can start to make those changes. And I'm not talking about, changing the system that they put in place, because that's a FIDEM system. But what you can do, change who you are. You know what I'm saying?
That's okay, change your lifestyle.
Change your lifestyle, because there's a way to actually, that's why I've talked so much about the public and the private you, the birth certificate fraud and all of those things, because it's important for you to start thinking and actually looking at what's happening, and then use their own legislation to literally take back what's yours, because you're not making something up. There's so much that we can do that's in the system that's already here, and use it to your advantage, because if the wheel's already been invented, then what wheel you are going to invent? You can't reinvent the wheel, but what you can do, you can use this in a different way. You see what I'm trying to say? Because that's what we're supposed to be doing. And this is the time in history when we have, oh my God, the opportunities that are here are so immense that, trust me, words fail me, because I'm not seeing it from the perspective of those out there that are prayer begging, can't cope, cold, hungry. I'm not seeing it from their perspective, because we have abundance. We have abundance. Trust me. But you don't think that. You don't say that. You don't speak that. Then you have what you have. You're in the situation that you're in because your words are very powerful. You better know that you create your reality. Come in, my you.
You know, what I really learned, one of the secrets is that your focus creates reality.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember a wise man once saying that the greatest work that you can do is unseen. And I'm talking about within. You see, at any time you look outside of yourself, guess what? You're actually looking within. You're seeing within. This is the secret. Everything outside of you is an illusion. Your real world is within. So if you work within, right here, let me tell you stuff. Things are going to change for you.
Absolutely.
Because now you're controlling where you're going to end up. You know what I mean? You're controlling where your destiny.
Absolutely.
Trust me, it's going to be. So you have to realize that you've got the power when you really tap into
Mighty.
here. You're so powerful.
Yo.
You know, a lot of us, we like to give it away.
Mighty men and women.
You see me and Lady
The
Crown,
lion and the lioness. You better know.
You see our lady, see me and Lady Crown here. We come with this energy on every single video. We've done probably around over 100 videos together. I've done over around 400. But we always come with this energy where it's light energy. We're not coming with an energy where we're gossiping, we're trying to badmouth people. We're not doing that because our focus is on upliftment. And when your focus is on upliftment, everything changes. You change the whole game for yourself. You go against the green.
Absolutely.
Because most people, they love this gossiping business and putting people down. We're not doing that. The reason why we're not doing that, because we're not doing it to ourselves first and foremost. Whatever's within you will be your external realm, you know. It's so crucial. You know, all the master teachers that me and Lady Crown are tapped into, a key trait that they have is tapping into the inner self. And all of us need to stop doing this, man. Realizing that, trust me, you've been plugged into a matrix that causes many tricks out here. This is why so many people are getting led down a dark path.
Oh, man.
And not seeing the light. You know what I mean?
Trust me, it's shining bright
it's
for
shining,
you right now. Monday we sat in the same place and it was overcast and I'm in raw boss out because you know what I mean. Like I keep telling you already, the sun shines on the righteous. And trust me, we're righteous men and women. That's what we are. I think I was listening to what's his name, my guy, Funky Prepper. He was, I can't remember what city he was living in, but he moved to Wales, so he's quite far up in some Highland type place. And he said, "I'm move out, you know, I live in the sticks," and I don't blame him because you know the cityscapes aren't really a place for us to dwell for a long time, especially the way that they're changing things up with the things that they're chucking up all over the place that are harmful for the environment, for birds, the insects, the bees, and of course it affects us as well. So there's times when we're going to have to seriously look at moving out to the cityscapes. We've got a bit of time to play with because what you need to do is be able to be in a position where you can, amass some type of wealth whereby you can then make decisions to do X, Y, and Z and not be in a situation where you're reliant on somebody else to feed you, clothe you, give you shelter, because the whole system, as you already know, because I've spoken about it time and time again, we've got the collapse. It's already happening. It's here. What you got is a controlled demolition, but there will be a moment where that controlled demolition literally hits the ground, because even when it's controlled, it's still going to come down floor by floor by floor, but then it hits ground zero. It has to hit ground zero, but it's not coming crash. It's taking its time, and that's what's happening. But he was putting out information and asking people that were, in various walks of life to sort of like email him anonymously if they wanted to just kind of like, so he could, get out to the people then what was happening. And there was one man that I think he said he worked in finance, and he, from what he's been hearing within the area that he works in, is that there's serious things happening with the banks. We've spoken about this last year, wasn't it, STS? We talked about what this a long time. And so he said that what he's been doing is withdrawing cash, going to the ATMs every day and taking cash out. This is somebody that's high up in finance. Wouldn't give his name because obviously they need to remain anonymous because they're still, still there. They're still working those kind of positions. But he said to just let the people know that the banks aren't safe. Well, I've told you that a long time ago that they're not safe. And anytime you make a deposit, which means no posit, D means no, you've not put anything in there. You think you have, but you haven't because of the language fraud. And then at the same time, it belongs to them because what you've given is it's almost like you've given a loan to somebody, yeah, which is the bank. So they've taken your money, so you've given them a loan. But you know what happens with loans? Sometimes people do what? Oh yes, they default on the loan, so they don't pay it back. And that's the situation where the majority of people, because I can't say the minority now, because it will be the majority of people fall into that category, especially the elderly who've worked very hard all their lives in some jobs that have been really taxing on the mind, the body and the soul, because they've had to work those ridiculous shifts where they should be making melatonin, but they're up when, you know what I'm saying, the serotonin, melatonin, all them mixes up because of the jobs that they've had to do. They're going to lose it all. They're going to lose it all because they've not got anybody. They're not listening to information that we're putting out. They haven't got any, daughters, sons, granddaughters and grandsons that are actually doing what we're doing to say, look, granny, look, granddad, need to do X, Y, and Z and protect. They're not doing that because these people are now in a position where they've been told that, if the bank fails, then you're guaranteed to get back X, Y, and Z. So it's made them comfortable. But this is the fox guard in the hen house. And you can't leave a fox guard in the hen house because you turn your back, the one at the end, them dead. They don't even want to eat them because that's what will happen. A fox will get into a hen house and tear up all of the hens that's in there and not even eat them. You see what I'm trying to say? That's the situation that's taking place in our banking system. So those things are key. Listen, I don't know one of, but what little you have, try do. And when it comes to you elders out there who are going to feel it more than anybody else, just let them know that these are the things that they need to be doing now. You should have been doing it from way back, but you can still do it now because at any moment, what if it's not for another 6 months? Then that gives you another 6 months to amass something, to get something out of the system. Because when it all goes down, there's always going to be buying opportunities. There has been throughout all of the collapses. If you look back at them, there's always opportunities, but only for those who had the foresight to see what was going to happen and prepare themselves, position themselves. If you get caught out, what can I say? You're going to lose it all. The bail-ins will take place. The devaluation of the currency will take place. Lack of this, food, water, you name it. They're always talking in hospitals that they're struggling for certain medications in hospital. There was a point where some hospitals were very low on oxygen. Now, this respiratory illness that's out there, forgive me if I'm wrong, STS, but isn't it something that if you go into hospital with a respiratory illness, that the one thing that you do need is oxygen? They need to give you oxygen to help you breathe.
The main fuel for the body is oxygen.
Now these hospitals are saying that they're running out. They're running low. They've got one tank. There are people in certain medical situations whereby they are hooked up to oxygen 24/7. Now, if the hospitals aren't able to supply them with their oxygen, what's that going to mean for these people? Can you imagine?
They're going to transition, isn't it?
So you can see it's a calamity. But guess what? Order ab chaos. That's what happens. Order out of chaos. This is what they do. What we're now in a position to do is recognize that and position ourselves, position our families. Listen, I know it's going to be difficult for a lot of families to overs what you're saying and still be caught up in the program and we're going to be, and everything will be fine. Yeah, they actually believe that. Just like they believed that they were taking something in their bodies that was going to protect them. But I think now they must recognize that, shit, not quite the case. 2 years later. Yeah? But that didn't stop you from trying to warn them. And that's what we're doing. We're bringing out a warning. We're alerting people. But at the same time telling you, live your best life. Yeah. Do you. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't do for anybody else. If push come to shove and things happen and you have one thing, beans figure them, and it's not going to put you out, then you can do that. But at the same time, you can't carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. That's not why you were put here. We weren't put here for that. We've all got our individual purposes for being here. It's finding that purpose and working with it. You know what I'm saying? But it starts with self. It starts with you first. You can't be there doing for everybody else and not doing for self. But at the same time, you can say, something, watch that, or take that, or this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm getting. You know what I'm saying? Spirit was telling me to share this information, and once you've done that, you move on. because when we move from here, we move on. There's things that we focus on that we have to do for ourselves. I mean, we ain't got cameras following us around 24/7 where we can see what we do. This is just a fraction of what we do. You know,
5%. It's 5%. It's simple as that, really. Like, you see, your conscious mind is a creative mind. Yeah, this is what we're using right now to give our information out there that we've got within us. Our subconscious is what's running the program, and the subconscious is linked to action. So yeah, if you did have a camera around us, you'll see the action that we're doing through all the day in order to get to this position right now. So trust me, this is why I'm so big on action, because what people are saying doesn't really resonate with the people that really know how the mind works and how consciousness works. You see, your ego is limited and your consciousness is limitless. And when you really tap in, because when I say consciousness, I'm talking about your subconscious and your consciousness fused together. So it becomes one. When you fuse it together, you can really take control of your life. But as long as you align to that old identity within you, you're going to be doing what you've done 10 years ago in this present moment.
Yeah.
In terms of your action, not what you say. That's only 5%. So trust me, really tap in, realize how powerful you are. Take action right this second. With it, not only from thought, but from your words to your actions. Everything's a vibration. And when you really get in touch with energy, shouts to Nikola Tesla, trust me, you'll start noticing the secrets, because the universe is always speaking to you, but it's down to you to read the signs. And trust me, you'll be connected to the divine real life when you start reading the signs and taking action with it, man.
Yeah.
Because I got a sign today and I have to be aware of this. Shouts to Lady Crown, she gave me a sign as well, because the people around you are instruments of the universe as well. Lady Crown gave me a sign today, and I thought, you know what, I'm taking that on board and I'm going to take action with it. Because trust me, your consciousness, like I said, is limitless, but it's due to what you do with it. You know what I mean? So be aware of what you're dealing with and realize how powerful you are. You're a galactic being, you're a divine being, you're beautiful. Every time you look in that mirror, baby, at that beautiful face, realize that, you know what I mean? You've
so
got
within,
it.
so without.
Trust me, you've got it, baby. Trust me. Don't make people put you down, because remember, everything's a test out there. And this is why, going back to what I was speaking about earlier with the fire and water energy, remember, people are always trying to test your fire. But when you turn it into water, you become an alchemist. And when I became an alchemist, everything changed for me. Because now I can transform energy at any single second, baby. And that is, it's a great power to have, A lot of people don't put importance on their mental health, not realizing that your peace of mind is your greatest form of wealth. And when you get to that mental state there, your whole life will change. Well, that's all I really got to say for this one, Have you got any more to say?
Yes, just pay attention to what's happening on a global scale, because, they'll try and keep you cocooned in wagwan yaso and a little bit over there. So apparently Henry, aka Harry, has got his book out there, and it's all a distraction, because whilst people are focusing on Wayne right now and book from Wayne right now and book, everything is happening in the background. So don't get caught up in the hogwash. Look at what's happening with the BRICS nations. Look at all the countries coming on board with the BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Watch the Wagwan Deso and the Shanghai Corporation, and how much gold these countries are buying. India buying a whole heap of silver. They're going to be backing their currencies by those tangible assets. So they want to keep you away from it. They give you the distractions. Silver is still quite cheap. I won't even say to buy the gold. Silver is still quite cheap. Get a couple ounces and put them down there. Yeah? Because you just might need it. Not might, you will need it. But you have an opportunity to get it whilst it's relatively cheap. I don't know how many, what percentage of the population are waking up to that fact. But if you're not going to preserve your wealth, because you have to, if the fiat currency that you hold is devaluing as we speak, then you have to take that and put it into something that holds the value. But guess what? When it all goes to hell in a handbasket, guaranteed it will, there might come a time when They're saying to you that silver's £6 an ounce or £4 an ounce, or there's no price for it. It's literally the COMEX will shut down. These are these organisations that have been rigging these prices forever. The LBMA in London will shut down, and there will be no price. They'll be like, well, they might even go into a negative according to their fiat currency system. But guess what? You've got something in your hand, something that's tangible, and something that you can use to barter with. Exactly, regardless of their system, because that fiat currency is over. So don't watch prices like they say when Bitcoin goes up and down. Oh, you lost. As long as you still hold 0.1 1 Bitcoin, then you still hold that regardless of the price. So don't watch the price. It's all manipulated. It's all been controlled for the longest time. So do not watch the price. What you have to make sure is that you're on the right side, because with those assets you'll be able to make things really work and happen for you and your family and your community, because the wealth is being transferred from the wicked to the righteous.
Yeah, you don't know.
You better know that. But the Creator can only enable you to have those things if you get up off your backside and ensure that what's happening now is the universe giving you an opportunity to come in at these prices that we got now. Saying to you, go piggyback money for do that, and you've had the opportunity ever since the period of the last 3 years, more heightened, to make you aware of, this is what we need to be doing. Start moving a little bit over, start doing this, then put all your eggs in one basket. And you cannot be just all into their banking system. It's crashing. It will take everything that you've got. Your pensions will be gone. You're going to see calamity, but only if you're not prepared. If you're prepared, guess what? You're going like, shut on the banks. I don't care. Shut your door. I don't business. I ain't got nothing in there anyway. You see what I say? But if everything is in there, like when Northern Rock went, how many years ago in the UK, and you saw tons and tons of people running down to bank to go and get what? They locked the doors. I told you what was happening in Liberia, Lebanon, when the people then was licking down the doors to get their money out. That state or city in China, how many from, I don't even know whether they've been able to get the money out. Hundreds of thousands of people's account was locked overnight like that. And if you don't think it's going to happen over here, then you're sadly mistaken. They're showing you what going over there. So we've been trying to alert you to what's happening over there, because it's coming here, regardless of what you can see. Here in Nottingham, pure building works taking place, big high rise. I'm thinking, carry on creating the illusion that everything's well, when everybody knows that city council's broke and got jack. So people who's got their pensions with, city council invested it in, well, I don't know where they've invested it. They've run off with the figure because you're not getting it. Anybody that mean or pension him said to him, take your money. Don't worry about what tax they're going to take out of it. Take it and put it somewhere. Do something with it, because you're going to lose it. You work 30, 40, 50 years for nothing.
Yeah, you got to invest it. Shout out to grandma out there. She's doing that now. She's listening to Lady Grant now.
She's got no choice.
Shout out to
me can be a seer and know what come and make she sit down there and get slaughtered. No, that would be right. Now if she said, oh no, I'm not listening to you because I'm happy where it is, I would say, you know what, I'm not going to make you do something that you don't want to. What I'm going to do is show you what I go on, and from that you say to me, well, backside girl, you better do something then. If you don't, fine, fair enough, because I've been banging on like this for years, telling people, even when things were really good in the illusion world, that start preparing, do look at this, do look at that, because something's going to happen to make you really wake up. And it did 3 years ago. Martha?
Yeah, it's been a catalyst for us to really wake up and see what's really going on, not just on surface level, behind the scenes as
absolutely.
Well. You know what I mean? Everything's getting revealed. Age of Aquarius,
yes.
Era of information, and with that information that you got, you've been able to do your thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And shape your reality. This is why I say
100.
Information is so key, man. Yeah. With the right information, you can make the right choices. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's
what we're done.
Yeah, man, that's all I really got to say. It's a flip. No rehearsal, no script, no acting going on. That's what we're dealing with out here. And everything's hidden in plain sight. All you got to do is tap into the right frequency, and that's love, baby. Oh yeah, and you'll be guided. Trust me. keep working on your mind, body, and soul in order to achieve your goals. Because we're there with ya.
Spiritually.
You don't know. STS, a Lady Crown, over and out. Peace and blessings.
Peace, my people.
Peace.